Spot on, spot off. First topic. Ross Chastain takes the turn 1 access lane on the final restart and battles Tyler Reddick for the win before being penalized 30 seconds post-race. Denny, favorite person, this one's all over you. Spot on, spot off.
So what is the like button? Spot on or spot off?
Spot on is
you
like
like what happened. Spot off, you don't like what happened.
So there's really two pieces to it.
Yeah. So spot on, I'm glad he did it before I did. I was thinking about it.
I know.
I
could tell on Saturday you were thinking about it.
I had a really good breaking point into the access road. I really did. I did.
We did it on Saturday, and
everybody did it all weekend.
I noticed in practice that, I mean, even when I really slowed way down and then said, oh, screw it, I got to go to the access road, I'm looking, I'm like, I'm right back where I came out. Like, if I really just committed to blowing this and having a breaking point, then I think there's a gain to be had here. And so
that's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Especially when you got to break for other cars.
Well, yeah, that was the biggest thing too. Is that they're all piled up on top of each other.
I think he committed pretty early that if I see any slowing down at the corner, I'm just going because I don't think he even tried to turn down.
So he got on the brake. You know, me and Billy Scott were sitting next to each other playing last night. We were looking at it on SMT, and he braked like he was going to make the corner, and then it never swayed. It was like once the hole opened in front of him, he took off again.
He did have 3 on the right side, and that's a bad spot. Yeah. So
I mean, it's genius. It worked. I mean, it's unfortunately legal apparently.
I'd imagine that rule will be added.
Well, I think that if he would have blended like second a ways back or something, maybe.
What do you think Tyler Reddick was thinking when he sees this guy on the left just come out of nowhere and take the lead?
And that it's
son of a
not only is it not just some guy, but it's Ross. So oh shit.
I don't understand why it took so long to penalize him. If that's a penalty,
because it wasn't breaking the rules.
Well, I mean,
we've already established they got a committee or something.
The committee is they were talking about.
That's what Freddie and I were texting about last night, and this is what I'm spot off about. Is we saw guys do this all weekend with no penalty. And people say, I was talking to Bob Pockris, you can't improve your position. Well, if the 3 cars in front of you on the track and the 3 car skips it, and even though he doesn't, quote, pass a car, he gets a 3/4 of a second gap, that's improving your position on the racetrack. Definitely. We saw guys trying it out in practice in both series. We saw guys do it in the Xfinity race. We saw guys do it in the Cup race, and the only person that got a penalty was the guy at the end. I had actually told Justin Haley, hey, man, guys are doing this. So if you're on the outside and you're stuck, just go shoot this access road because they're not doing anything about it. So I think it's ironic.
You in Xfinity race, I might
get
get ready.
The wreck too. Most times you're past the wreck.
Absolutely, you're past the wreck.
The 1 and the 3 got the penalties because they were the only ones that improved their position throughout. The other guys were doing it, but they never committed to it like the 1 and the 3 did on the last lap.
That was never said though.
But I mean, it's in the rules, and it's a discretionary rule, which obviously sucks. I think next year when we go back, you'll have to stop. In my opinion, that'll be the rule. Like you can blow through this turn 1, but you're going to have to stop before you re-enter the racetrack. I think is the only fair way to do it because you can't. Now that guys see this, they'll try to manipulate it anyway.
Have you seen turn 1? Stopping still might be faster.
Yeah.
I mean, Ross was in a no-win position. AJ Allmendinger was on the inside of Ross, and the way that Suarez went in there, he completely cleaned out Blaney, AJ. If Ross had been there, he would have been cleaned out as well. So Ross avoided the accident, but I don't understand, to your point, it's a minute and a half back around there. Why didn't they then say, hey, 1, you're legal. You're not going to be a part of this race. Get out of the way. Let Cindric and everybody else do what they've come to do. So that's what I'm spot off about. I'm spot on for Ross's
voting takes time.
It does take time. I'm spot on for Ross saying, I think this is the best thing for me at this point in time. And it almost worked out.
We saw last year that they don't always adhere to the black flag at the end of the race. I don't know if you remember that.
And I think Dustin Long tweeted, I guess maybe over the radio, NASCAR said that if in the closing laps of the race there's not enough time to assess any penalties that are not served prior to the end of the race, a post-race penalty of 30 seconds will be assessed to the vehicle's total time.
Yeah, but I'm not really sure that they considered this a penalty.
Yeah.
They didn't during their whole race. I did it twice at least.
I think they took it. I think it took them by surprise when Ross came out.
Yeah.
Where he did.
That
4
far
rows
ahead.
ahead of where he was, and they're like,
or maybe he didn't
we can't
look
let
like
this go.
But the wreck made it way worse too.
He also could have made it look like he tried a little
But
bit more.
it didn't
He
really
na-
make
he
it that
nailed
worse
it.
because he came out and like Ty got through.
Yeah.
Tyler got through one clean, and he came out ahead of him. So it wasn't like the
Oh,
wreck
yeah.
was the only thing that stacked everybody else out.
Ross
Tyler
definitely
Reddick
nailed
is
it.
not getting enough credit on the last restart because of what Ross Chastain did. When you watch that replay, you watch him come down that straightaway and do everything that he could do to keep Blaney behind him and not get freight trained on the inside. Like he completely managed that restart. Top notch. And then you saw Ross go flying out. But Tyler Reddick deserves more credit than he's getting because that was amazing.
Yeah, like Danny said, he's about the only one that deserves credit for yesterday.
I mean, listen, even in our drivers chat, everyone's, disappointed with how that race went. I mean, what we try to figure out is like, who's responsible for this? And because IndyCar doesn't do that. Well, it's because they'll knock the front wing off and race over, right? But we use the person in front of me. I say we, but I watched like the 22 and the 2 and the 14. They
don't
just
care.
pile in and 5 wide when they know they can't make it, and they know the person in front of them can't, so they hit them to then cause a wreck, so they go around it. So it's just bad. It's just a bad look, and it was just.
It looks really bad.
If you
just-
were
it just
if
is
you were
terrible.
the sanctioning body, what would you do to change it?
If I own the series, I keep doing it again because
It's creating more action.
Everybody's
It
talking
is.
about it.
guess.
I knew when there was going to be a green white checker that it was going to be bad, but like we had the restarts, like the 22 goes all the way down, doesn't even make the corner, pops the curb, goes on the inside of the curb with his right sides, and you're not making that corner. You're basically forcing contact to create a wreck so you can gain them spots.
The problem is the drivers think, well, that he's not going deep enough. Well, no, he's not going deep enough. He's just not trying to create a 4 wide and a 2 wide lane. Like that's, when you're
Yeah.
in the 6th row, of course you can't go as deep as what your braking mark is because there's traffic in front of you. But they just keep filling in from the back and not respecting. They don't care about whoever's the collateral damage. And
Because
so-
they make spots from it, and then
Yeah.
they do it again.
When you look at the Chase Elliott wreck, that wreck started from 10 cars back.
Yeah.
Somebody coming in there, running into the car behind. He gets punted into the car in front of him, and next thing you know, it just ricochets all the way forward.
I don't
So-
have statistics to support this, but I've always said turn 1 at Watkins Glen, breaking downhill was the hardest corner to make in NASCAR because I saw a lot of guys running by themselves, wheel hop, spin out, and off they'd go. And obviously restarts are nuts. I take it back. Turn 1 at Indy, hands down the hardest corner in NASCAR to make after seeing that this weekend.
Well,
But it's self-inflicted because it's mostly drivers there. They don't hit each other at Watkins Glen like they do at Indy.
I think they will now.
They
Yeah.
don't do it on the initial start.
yeah.
I mean,
it's green white checker. You got to use. It's either hit or be hit.
I mean, should we think about single file restarts
No, we can't.
there?
Nah.
I mean, will it make a difference?
Be boring as.
It'll
shit.
definitely make a difference.
3 wide versus
Make a
5
huge
wide?
difference. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I don't think you have a wreck. I don't think you have a wreck like you do. You're gonna. Have two
I mean,
guys
we're going to
side
be
by
2
side.
wide by the time we get to the first corner, but we just won't be 6 wide.
Starting, yeah.
Like the 22, I have no idea where he
well,
was going.
The 20
let's
And
move on to
he
that.
finished like 6th, and he was running 30th.
I know,
I
but
thought he
that's
came-
why they do it is they get rewarded for it.
The
which
22
sucks.
I
looked
thought
like,
he came off pit road.
The 22 looked like a move I used to play in PlayStation. Like you just like hang out to the
Oh,
right
yeah.
with no
Don't-
damage on and just blow out the whole field.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Ryan Blaney told it like it was. Spot on, spot off. Joey Logano, among other drivers, dive bomb turn 1 on the final 2 restarts, and Ryan Blaney says, Jason,
that was a case of just getting wrecked. That's all people do at the end of these things. Just drive in there and fucking wreck you. And I don't know who shoved who. I don't care. Freddie, spot on, spot off.
He's right.
I mean, he's not wrong, obviously. Like we just talked about Joey. Like that's how we got knocked out into the grass. Was Joey was 5 wide on the bottom and knocked that whole lane out to us. But just that you saw it all day long. You saw guys going in there, and now guys are getting paid back because they thought the guy wrecked them, but he actually got shoved from 4 rows back. Blaney went and turned Suarez at the end of the race when it looked to
Suarez
me
got
like
hit.
it was the 2 that got in the back of Suarez. I think Harvick paid back 48, and 48 didn't do anything to him. So it's just like you don't even know who's wrecking you because there's 16 wide and guys are just driving over their heads into the corner.
I didn't see that. Is that what happened? There was no good angle of the 4 and 48.
There wasn't a
the second
replay,
one.
but Alex tweeted something or put a post up like, I got paid back for a wreck I didn't cause. So it sounds like it was intentional.
Yeah.
Well, I saw the quote, someone's radio, but it was the Harvick's radio, and they said, Well, there's about 5 guys responsible, and they said, well, tell me all 5. I'm going to get them all. He did. Perfect. Yes, he was pissed. He's like, give me all 5 names.
Yeah. I did look at that restart with the two. The 2 kind of seemed to start that one. It wasn't really Suarez.
That's
Suarez
right.
got in deep, but the 2 got into the back of him.
The
For sure.
2 was super aggressive. I mean, there was just guys. You could just see it coming, and then I don't even know. There's no way to defend it. Like spotting it, you're like, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm
You're gonna get wrecked.
100% spot on for what Matt Weaver tweeted about this. He said racing with respect does not pay playoff points. And he's right. And at the end of these races, all these guys give a crap about is winning or getting playoff points, or obviously advancing in the top 10 in points so that you get more playoff points when the regular season is over. So racing with respect and integrity is out the window when you have a green-white checker these days, especially somewhere that there's a corner like turn 1.
Yeah, well, we run Formula 1 tracks, and we have a 90-degree corner. I can tell you right now it's going to be ugly.
And it was.
Flat track, too. Yeah.
We've got exciting news. OfferPad wants to buy your home. Go to OfferPad.com right now and tell them all about it. You'll receive a cash offer within 24 hours.